Okay, so let's begin.
No.
So, well, fuck you. So, briefly, after you mentioned to your parents that you wanted to go adventuring, see the world, collect any artifacts you could find, your father suggested to go visit his uncle up north in Silvervale.
Yes,
Surprisingly,
to go visit my
Yep.
uncle. Yes.
Yep. Despite being out of touch for a while, occasionally sending the very rare letter here and there. Once your father reached out to him, he was very ecstatic in his reply in receiving you in Silvervale and helping you start what would become your adventuring journey. So, with that, your family decided to accompany you to Berdosa off the east of Daxon. It was a month's trip, fairly uneventful. Your family is well off, nobles who can afford a carriage for however long they wish without much issue. For the following month or so, your family traveled eastward to Berdosa and arrived, I believe it's the 33rd day of travel? Let me check here quick.
And I slaughtered everyone in my path.
Yep.
Mhm.
It is 32 days. On the evening of the 33rd day of travel to Berdosa. Figuring that probably wasn't the best idea to set up right away, you all decided to stay in the Bronze Bell Inn, run by two nice little old ladies, named Miriam and Lillian Fenwick.
Okay, hang on. Hold please. I need to open a new notes thingy.
Alright.
Berdosa.
Berdosa.
What's the inn called?
Bronze Bell Inn.
Bronze Bell Inn. And it is owned by...
It is owned by a couple, Miriam and Lillian Fenwick.
Can you spell those names?
Okay.
Shut up!
There you are. Miriam is they're both human. Miriam is getting up there in years. She has natural fair skin with long braided gray hair and champagne color eyes, measure around 4'7", while her lovely wife has warm coffee skin with rosy brown eyes and tight curly brown hair peppered with gray strands. She stands a fair bit taller than her wife at 5'3".
Okay. Can you, DM me those details?
Okay. No problem.
I like to keep my notes tidy. Okay, so I'm here in the inn with
With your fam.
With my family, owned by Miriam and Lillian Fenwick.
Yep.
God, they're so gay!
Yes, they are nice little lesbian old ladies.
They're old? Let's go.
Yep.
Huge.
It's around, you guys got here, at maybe 5 p.m. while you guys settled down for dinner. Let's say it's around 6 p.m. I don't know if you'd like to converse with either Miriam or Lillian, but basically what's been set up is your standard standard tavern dinner. Berdosa is not a big city. It's more of a crossroads town, basically to prepare, I guess you could say, a halfway point for travelers. So for Virik and his family, what they serve here, while not bad, is probably not up to their predetermined standard, being nobles, but it's cozy.
Okay. Virik probably would not. He would be very quietly judging the food. He wouldn't say anything out loud, but I think he'd be sharing glances with his parents.
Probably more so with his dad. His
Yeah.
mother is currently making small talk with both Miriam and Lillian. It seems to be a rather slow evening at the tavern at the inn. Yeah, not much is going on. Like you overhear that the Bronze Bell Inn has been within the Fenwick family line for about 6 generations now. They them being the most recent. They talk about basically they're talking about like who they're gonna leave the inn to since they're getting up there in years.
Mhm.
How their family has grown up in Berdosa. You hear a bit of their love story as they continue chatting. Yeah, I think during this dinner, your brother, whose name I've forgotten,
Ivrin, I believe. Ivrin.
Ifrin, yeah.
I don't know why I put a roll on the tongue there. I didn't know that was accidental.
All right. Actually, during your whole trip, Ivrin has kind of stayed close to your side. Like, he may be more out there, but he.
This is
It's very clear that he doesn't.
going to new places is different for him. It's
Yeah, it's very
a
clear he's
little
not
scary.
comfortable being outside the walls of Daxon.
Yeah.
And he kind of leans over to you and kind of pokes the food, dropping his voice. Do you think this is safe?
What, the food?
I mean, he kind of shrugs.
It's safe, Ivrin. Just eat. Be polite.
You haven't eaten?
Okay, well, listen. Same time then, and he's gonna stab a bite of his food.
He takes a bite. You can tell from like his facial expression that he doesn't dislike it, but he's mildly disappointed. It's not like the players back home.
Virik gives him kind of like a knowing nod and holds up like a fork full of his food, as into like clink them and like a cheers and like understanding like, yeah, this is how it's gonna be.
He clinks it back with you. And he just slowly but quietly goes about eating the rest of the food on his plate. It's kind of like a mix of like a chicken leg, a mussel for you, with a side of mashed potatoes and some green veggies, lightly steamed.
The mashed potatoes are his favorite part.
Hell yeah. Eventually, the evening winds down. Your parents, they don't seem as judgmental of the food as their sons.
They're just better at hiding it.
Yep. Eventually the night turns into you, your father, and your brother waiting on your mother to kind of tone her conversation down with Miriam as they continue chatting over a cup of tea.
Oh, women! I'm just kidding.
Over a cup of tea, and your mother leaves a very generous tip as you guys head up to your rooms on the second floor. Again, nothing that it's nothing that you're used to. The rooms are probably like each individual room is probably the half of your own room back home. But they're quaint, small but quaint and comfortable. Irvin actually insisted that he wanted to share a room with you. As I guess since you're not gonna be seeing each other for a while, he wanted to make the most of these last few hours you guys had together before you set off, while your parents head off to their own room.
Okay, so I'm sharing a room with Ivrin.
Um, do you do anything in the night? Do you study? Do you converse with Ivern at all?
Yeah, I think I'd be conversing with Ivern and studying. Like I'd have a book open and kind of like talk to him while I'm reading.
Anything in
Um,
particular? Okay.
I think the conversation would mostly just kind of be about, like this isn't quite what we're used to, but uh, I'm imagining Virik has kind of already accepted that this is what adventuring's probably going to be like,
Yeah.
going from place to place, staying in places like this. So, like, it's not as lofty as I was hoping, but I suppose I'll get used to it.
Well, getting used to it's gonna be one part of the problem. Staying safe is gonna be another. Are you sure you have everything set, ready to go? You sure you want a carriage? I'm pretty sure Mom and Dad could get it sorted.
Ivern, I appreciate it, but I'll be fine. Worry about yourself. Hmm?
But you're gonna be out beyond the walls.
We're already beyond the walls, Ivern.
Further beyond.
If you're that worried about it, I will spend my time finding a way to keep in contact, aside from just letters. That way, if something goes wrong, I can cry right to you via whatever magic I find.
You can see his face sort of soften, like he gets the sentiment you're trying to project, but there's like that worry still lingers in his eyes. Okay. Uh, as long as you promise to be safe, uh, you are one of the smartest people I know. I'm sure you won't bite off more than you can chew.
Yes, I am quite cautious, aren't I? um, besides, your big brother is a great magician.
Yes, I'm well aware. He kind of rolled his eyes.
What about you? I mean, you've got yourself well set up, but will you be alright with me gone?
I'll manage. I can't. I can't keep clinging on to you forever, unfortunately. I'm gonna pursue my own studies. Well, not studies. You know, recitals, performances. I was thinking about heading down to the lower tavern, see if anything strikes up there. You can kind of see that, although he's proposing this idea, he's not really comfortable saying it, or let alone doing it.
The lower taverns, as in like
The port.
the poor taverns. This look comes across Virik's face. He goes, "I would perhaps stick to the higher ends. You're already doing well for yourself. Though, since you're already outside of the walls, maybe this will give you the confidence you need to travel to other towns."
Well, outside of Mossshire and Berdosa, those are pretty much the two closest towns to Daxon. Villanari tend to be stick, a bit of sticklers.
Mossshire it is then.
Perhaps.
Whatever you choose, I'm sure you will find great success.
Thank you. Well, you have an early morning, and as do I. You know, Father doesn't like to leave too late. He kind of plops back on his bed.
I'll be up a while longer, but you rest up. And I'll
He gives
just.
you a nod. Yep.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, he gives you a nod and just kind of turns over on his bed, pulling the cover over himself. And after like maybe half an hour, you start hearing just very light snoring.
Excellent. I'll probably read for like another half hour after he starts snoring. Close up my book. If there's not a cover properly on him, I'll put one over him before going to my own bed.
As you cross the room to get to your own bed, you kind of look out. You've already snuffed out your candle. You look out the window, and something that catches your eye is the fact that the skies here are surprisingly more clear than those in Daxon. You guess that, despite Daxon being a forested area per se, there's a lot less light pollution here. Daxon is known for having these magical lanterns that just are constantly going, and Verdosa doesn't really have those. So you can see more stars in the night sky.
Hmm. Do I have? I think we had said I have a bunch of journals or something, right? Or did we say that that's not a thing
Yep.
that I have?
Book.
Book.
I do have book.
Okay. Did we decide what that is?
No, it's just a book. We didn't say it was gonna have anything. I think it just said it was your notes.
Okay.
Nothing in particular. You also have parchment.
Okay. I'm gonna pull out a sheet of parchment and can I see the stars?
Yep.
Not that it's gonna mean anything functionally, but Virik is going to start like basically drawing the stars as he sees them out of the window.
All right. I'm guessing you just take your time doing that. Just kind of, you're not in a rush particularly.
No.
All right. I'll say you do so. I wouldn't say with much issue because like you get to the point where it's like, did I draw that star already? I think I did, and you kind of go back to make sure you're not repeating any.
Mhm.
But eventually, you get like a decent star chart on your piece of parchment.
I leave it on the little table there so that the ink can dry overnight, and I go to bed.
Oh wait. The night passes quietly. You eventually get lulled to sleep by the sound of crickets outside your window and the occasional cicada. The following morning, you and your brother are awoken by a knock on the door. As you open your eyes, you can barely see the first rays of sun piercing through the window. Um, as your brother said, your family is not one to wait until midday to set out. Um, Begrudgingly, Viren, wakes up, very groggy.
Good morning, brother.
Good morning.
You look a little less than well rested.
The bed wasn't that comfortable. However, that'll soon change. As he gets up, kind of running a hand through his hair, trying to comb it into place so it's not so scraggy.
I guess I'll get up, grab the star map that I kind of drew out. And before we start heading out the door, do we know who knocked, or is it just kind of like, was it like
You heard
dad
a knock.
knocking and be like, time to get up, or like
Basically, yeah. Like you heard a knock. You hear your dad say, "Hey, everyone, Virik, let's go."
Okay. Getting myself ready is pretty quick. I knew that journeying was going to be a little bit rough at first, so I'm kind of wearing the same shit.
Yep.
But I hand the drawing of the star map, of the stars from last night, to Ivran. Yeah. Skies aren't as clear in Daxon. Perhaps this will remind you of what you're missing. Encourage you to get out there a bit more.
He kind of looks at it, holds it up. I suppose so, though I'd be lying if I said I didn't see more than just a few dots. And he laughs.
Yes, well, I'm no artist, but that's what I saw last night, out of that window. We don't get to see the stars very often. And he'll open the door.
Suppose not. And he'll follow you out. As you guys open the door and head out, your father's already gone. Man's not one to waste time.
Is Mom there?
Like they're not in the hall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like they're gone. They're like
took off. Shit!
Like find your own way back.
Yeah. Well, Devrin, looks like you're stuck with me.
As you guys head into the hall, no, you do not see your parents, but from downstairs you do smell what you assume to be breakfast. You smell I guess I don't want to say the grease because it sounds gross, but like bacon being fried.
Mm-hmm.
You smell some freshly baked bread, and you hear just general. I won't say commotion, but you do hear some banter downstairs. There are a lot more people here now than there were last night.
Okay. I guess I will make my way down with Ivrin. I'm assuming. I'm guessing that Dad's basically collecting a breakfast to go as well as he can.
Yep. Yeah, as you head down, you see Miriam kind of going to and from tables, taking orders. You see there are a good amount of people in here. You see some people dressed in I guess you could say like just casual clothing, like more just peasant clothing. You see some dressed in farm very dirty from like tending to the land. You see who you assume to be a blacksmith mainly going off like the soot on their face and their hands.
Yeah.
And you just basically you kind of gather that whether it's spoken or not, it's sort of a ritual here in Berdoza for people just to come together, have breakfast before continuing on with the day.
Okay. Very cool. So I get down there and I kind of see him like trying to get a to-go order together. Go. In a hurry as always, Father. Come now, this will be the last time that you see of me for a while. We can at least sit down.
And he kind of looks over to Lillian, who's tending the bar. 4 breakfast platters, please. Just for that table over there. And he points at a table at a corner. And Lillian smiles, gives a nod, and heads toward the kitchen.
That's the spirit. He goes over to the table.
The work of a court mage is never finished. You are aware of this, right? As he follows you.
Yes, and I'm also aware that that same court mage took a month off just to come here. Actually, 2 months. So, is it really that important to you? More important than spending your last moments with your dearest son?
He gives a chuckle and kind of ruffles your hair. I suppose it's not. I'm proud of you.
Thank you, Father. That means quite a lot. And it seems you're no worse for wear in this quaint town, Mother.
What can I say? It's very rare. As much as I like the pleasant, as much as I like what's the word? I forgot the word. As much as I enjoy the more fancy things that we often take advantage of, it's rare to find folks who just aren't caught up in the whole nobility, ranking, regency aspect
Hmm.
of life.
Sometimes simpler is better.
Indeed. And I'm sure you'll find a lot of people who come from different walks of life. And maybe you might find that you fancy it too.
Though I think I'll miss my office. Yes, I'll miss my office quite a bit.
You'll miss it despite spending 12 hours a day in there.
It was necessary. Had to find
Well,
peace and quiet somehow.
well, hopefully your travels will allow you to make up for the lack of sun you gone.
He kind of scratches the back of his head. I can't be that pale. He looks at his chin. I'm a little pale.
um, the banter continues, and after I'd say 20 minutes, Lillian brings out these four breakfast platters: sausage, egg. I'm trying to think of what else. Sausage, egg, and some roasted potatoes with some juice primarily.
Juice.
Juice.
Pog. Um, I thank her kindly and begin to eat very politely.
Very politely, yes.
Yes.
I think you guys enjoyed like this breakfast in silence, not an uncomfortable silence, not like a looming silence, but kind of, I guess, savoring this last moment you guys will have as a family for a while. Just
Yeah.
enjoying each other's presence for a bit.
Yeah.
Eventually, as breakfast wraps up, once again, your mother pays the tab and leaves a very generous tip to the two tavern keepers. And you all step out. Um, you guys have gone here via carriage. A very is it carriage? Yeah, carriage. Um, for you guys, it was no issue. Just kind of, it's probably even your guys' own carriage. You guys had no issue, kind of splurging on the resources to get here and to get back.
Mhm.
And you guys just kind of idly chat as you guys head over to the stables. Um, as you arrive, you are greeted by. Where's it? Fuck! I closed it. It's like you are greeted by a ruby-skinned tiefling with dark red hair and dandelion yellow eyes. She actually seems fairly young. Like you guys seem around the same age. Obviously, like physically, very clearly not in terms of years.
Mhm.
Um, and she greets you all. She says, for her last name, what's her last name? Alazar. Um, Mr. and Miss Alazar, welcome back. Uh, is it time for you to get going? And your parents kind of look between each other before looking back at you. Your mother says, are you sure you could be alright on your own?
I'll be fine, Mother. Please. This is the path that I've chosen. Besides, I'll be going to Great Uncle what do they call him? Reyes?
Reyes, I believe.
Hang on, hang on, hang
Rios?
on.
I thought it was Rios.
No, Reyes.
Reyes? Okay.
Great Uncle Reyes. If anything, he'll keep me safe.
Her face kind of like pulls into an expression like it's never been a secret that your mom and your uncle don't really get along. Like
Yeah.
like they get along, they're civil with each other, but it's very much like like your mother's not like the biggest fan.
Okay, so like, knowing that, Virik will kind of give a smirk at that expression and go, "What? Don't trust me in the hands of the Titan Breaker?"
Time breaker, sure. Um She puts her hand on your shoulders and her eyes soften. There's a lot of love and care in those in her expression as she looks over you. Just stay safe, look after yourself, and most importantly, don't forget that you always have a place back home, okay?
I'll remember. And try not to be too absorbed in your work. Ivran might need a little extra love. And I elbow him a little bit.
He kind of pulls like a playful scowl, and then your mom. Yep, go on.
I give my mom a hug.
She gives you a hug back, and as she pulls back, she grabs your face and gives you a small kiss on the forehead.
I just kind of give a soft smile.
Um, Afterwards, no. Your mother steps back and your father steps forward. He puts a hand on your shoulder. Say hello to your uncle for me, will you? Tell him that he should stop by and visit instead of just sending anonymous letters every now and then. At least I'm to sign them.
I'll do my best, but from what I understand, probably low chance.
I'm well aware. And he gives you a hug, a tight squeeze.
I hug him back. Oh, let's see how long it takes me to surpass you, father.
No, don't get getting cocky.
Well, why not? I've already beaten you in height. He kind of straightens himself out a bit.
He gives you like a gentle smack on the head.
Vera kind of chuckles to himself.
And lastly, Ivran just gives you a tight hug. It lasts a bit longer than you expected to.
Mm-hmm.
And he just says, "Stay safe, brother. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Definitely don't do something I would."
I think I'll be doing both of those things. I can't wait to hear word of your great fame and fortune.
And I can't wait to hear the legend of Virik, the mighty adventure wizard. He just kind of shrugs. Collector.
You'd better get better at that. And kind of tousles hair.
And this is why I play instruments as opposed to sing. Or I guess songwrite.
There's always practice, and I put my arm around him. Be well, brother.
You as well. And he gives you another hug. And as he does, your parents are kind of conversing with this tiefling. Eventually she wanders off, comes back with you guys' carriage, your family's carriage, and helps your mother and father up. And Ivran pulls back. I'll be seeing you soon enough.
I should hope so. I don't think you could take it too long without me.
We shall see. However, will I survive?
I kind of pat him on the shoulder. Um, and uh, nah, that's a sigh move.
All right. um, he he jumps into the carriage, and the tiefling closes the door behind them. Your dad's actually the one, I guess, yeah, driving this carriage. He waves you off, and they set off westward towards the exit of Berdosa.
Do I know this tiefling's name?
You would have overheard your father when he was dropping off the carriage. You would have heard her say that her name was Faith. Was it Faith Intari?
Like,
I'll send you this character's description.
wait. Faith and Tari. Okay. Um, and I guess I need a way out of here, right? I'm going up to Silvervale.
Yep.
Well, now that that's all settled, Faith, how much for a carriage up to Silvervale?
She kind of looks at you. Uh, a carriage as in the cart and horses, or a carriage as in a driver?
Hmm. Suppose I should say what expenses. Just the carriage itself.
She kind of thinks for a moment. Let me see. Chariot. Your family bought a chariot, not carriage. That's the word I had forgotten. Okay.
They bought a chariot? Damn.
They're nobles. Like, what do you expect? Like, they are prominent heads in Jackson. Like you, like,
Yeah, no, they're rich for sure.
yeah.
The carriage itself will run you about 100 gold. That's not counting the horses.
Aha.
A horse,
And
it's
would a
just,
driver be cheaper?
where are you heading?
Silvervale.
Silvervale.
And she kind of thinks for a moment,
Follow me.
and she brings you inside Bertosa's stables, known as the Merry Haven Stables. Merry spelt like the Merry Woods.
Okay. Mary Haven Stables.
You actually see like at the front desk there is a kind of like there's the counter, but the counter itself is topped with a pane of glass, and under is a map of Kyrin.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep. She says
That'll be around 34 days, mainly because, and she points
at these little hills here.
this could be some rather difficult terrain to traverse. So that'd be
I remember I had a chart for this, and I think I lost it. Let me see if I can find it.
1,000 gold.
1,000 gold. I remember I had this fucking chart, and I can't remember what it was. I wasn't actually expecting you to fucking buy a carriage. I'm not gonna lie. I was expecting you to walk or buy a horse.
No, I just wanted
Let's
to
see.
see if it was like a viable option. Because if it's cheap enough, then I'll just fucking do it. But
That's valid. Let me see if I can find this quick. If I can't, then I'll make something up.
That'll run you.
Hmm.
That'll run you about 120, mainly because of the distance and also supplies for horses and the driver himself.
so it's more expensive, right? Should have asked mother and father for more money.
How much are you running with? I forget.
I have 110.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
He's gonna kind of open up his coin purse and go, "Thank you for your time. I think I'll walk." I'm gonna close his coin purse.
Okay, just that I will point out that this area could be not dangerous,
And she points again at the little hills.
just the path leads in between those two valleys, so it's a lot longer than one would expect on a map.
Well, suppose it'll be like learning to swim. He's gonna start making his way out. As he's walking away, he's gonna go, what'd you say?
She'll just say,
Have a nice trip. Don't drown.
As he's walking, he's going, "Thank you, Faith." Don't drown.
Don't drown. Is there anything you want to look? Is there anything else you want to do in Berdosa before you head off?
Do I have to worry
Just
about
say,
rations?
yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
I
Just
guess
like Berdosa is not a trading town. It's very much just like here's what you need to travel. Like
it's a pit stop town.
Yeah, basically. I could read you what there is here if you'd like.
No, just get just some rations.
Rations. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How many rations you buying?
How much for like a ration? Because I have
Sure, 2
no
silver, aren't they?
rations.
Oh.
Unless you want to say my parents left me with some.
Okay, I have an idea.
Uh-huh.
I actually need to figure out how much rations cost, to be fair. Let's see. They cost 5 silver each.
Ouch. Okay.
Yep.
So 2 rations is a goal.
I will say, at some point you kind of head back to the Bronze Bell Inn, and as you kind of gather your stuff and prepare to head out, the music just picked up. You prepare to head out. You're kind of stopped by Miriam, and she holds out a decently sized sack. He said, she says, your mother asked us to prepare something for you. And she'll hold out the sack. And it's basically rations. I'll give you 15 days worth.
15? Okay.
Yep.
15 days of rations. Rations. Excellent. I'm gonna go. Well, thank you very much, Miriam.
Thank you. I do bid you safe travels. And we hope to see you again soon.
Thank you. And you might. Depends on which way the wind carries me. And I guess with that in mind, I will buy another 20 days. Because 1 gold is 2 rations. So that's 10 gold.
Yep.
So I now have 35 days, which is great because I'm going to be spending 34 of them traveling. Oh, okay. Sweet. I guess that's kind of it, and I'll just start walking.
Oh, hello.
Hello?
My internet just shut itself. Okay, I'm back.
What'd you miss?
I heard you said you bought 10 rations? 20?
20 rations with 10 gold.
Okay. And then you said that was it, right?
Yeah, I'm basically just walking now.
As you head off towards the... Where is this? As you head off towards the west exit of Berdosa, you kind of pass by this... You pass by what can only be described as a chapel. An oak and birch chapel. You see a banner hanging down from it. It's nothing grand. It's not like a big temple like one you'd find in Daxon.
Mm-hmm.
But on this small building, you find a banner hanging down depicting. Let me make sure.
Depicting these nuts?
You see a green banner with a mistletoe on it.
Mistletoe.
And yep. And as you're walking by it, you spot a silver dragonborn who kind of gives you a polite bow before heading inside. Just like a nice, like a I guess you could say like a just passing greeting.
Okay. Would it make sense for this to be a point for me to like stop and be like, oh, maybe I can rest here?
Oh no, it's like more so
or is it kind of just like I know this is here now?
Yeah, you know this is here now, basically.
Okay.
Yep. And as a reminder, mistletoe is the symbol. A branch of mistletoe is a symbol of Terra, the land mother.
I was looking through the deities after you said it.
Yep. And you head off. Question for you: do you have any camp supplies?
That's a great question. I have a little bag of sand.
Okay, sweet.
No.
Sweet. Okay. I'd say you realize this like towards the end of your first day on the road, but I don't know if he'd realized that before or not?
I have a feeling he'd realize before. He'd probably be walking, like, there's not much to do other than, like, contemplate what's coming, right? So at some point he'd be like, I wonder how I should set up camp. I'll need to set up a... Shit. So yeah, I guess he would stop in at that temple then.
Okay. You are just greeted by the Silver Dragonborn. I'm guessing like an hour or two later. When you pass by, you see the Silver Dragonborn with gold specks on her face. How tall is Virik?
6'3".
Okay, so she's a bit shorter than you, standing at 6 foot.
Ha,
And she has silver
short.
white eyes. Greetings. Welcome to the shelter of the Land Maiden. How may I assist you today, traveler?
Hello, I'm Virik Alazar, and he's going to give a slight bow. I had begun my travels, making my way towards Silvervale, and I made the realization that I've not the equipment to make my own camp. I was hoping either you could assist with supplies or maybe have a place for me to stay the night at the very least.
She returns the bow. I could help you with both those things. It is rather late for you to continue traveling, so there wouldn't be much reason to send you on your way. Follow me. And she, like, this chapel's rather small. She leads you to the back. As you go deeper into this chapel, you see that there is like a glass mural, like a stained glass mural on the wall of depicting what you can only assume to be, I guess, the avatar of
Tara.
Tara, this pale-skinned elven lady with green hair. The green hair itself just kind of splays down and turns into the surrounding land around her, like kind of into grass, and from it, and around her, I mean, there are leaves and petals just kind of surrounding her. She takes you under this, like, through a door under this glass mural, into a room with a fairly low ceiling, but it's kind of like that height of you feel like you're gonna hit your head, but logically you're not.
Yeah. Kind of lowered myself instinctually anyway.
Yeah. It's a small hall, and she leads you to one of the rooms in the back. There's like a total of 4. You may rest here for the night. And what supplies exactly are you missing?
he's gonna reach into his bag holding, pull out his backpack, which has all of the rest of his supplies in it. He's gonna open up the bag. Sort of everything.
I see. Well, you're welcome to make yourself comfortable here tonight. Myself and the other attendings are having dinner. You're more than welcome to join us. And I will see about getting you a tent, a bedroll. What else would you consider adventuring gear? Tent, bedroll,
Tent, a bedroll, something to start fires with.
tinderbox.
Yep, tinderbox.
Oh, but
I
your
would
mess
say
kit.
torches, but he doesn't really need that.
Yeah.
Mess kit would be great. Yeah. I don't think he'd think of asking for rope, so probably just the stuff he needs to like set up a camp and like survive.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. I will leave you to get yourself comfortable then. As I said, you're more than welcome to join us. Give me a second. I think someone gave my nephew one of those like plastic microphone things that just amplify sound.
Oh, good.
Yeah. um You're welcome to join us for dinner. We'll be having chicken soup.
Thank you
And
very much.
I shall give you what you need. She gives you a bow. And my name is Athir Nashir. Narish. Athir Narish.
Okay, hang on. Terra Temple. Oh, you sent me the name. Okay. The Nourish. Oh, ISH. And it has a name. Shelter of the Land Maiden. Okay. I will return the bow. And go. Thank you very much for your kindness and hospitality.
Of course. And she leaves the other door and walks out of the hall.
Sweet. I stuffed my backpack back into the bag of holding.
All right.
And I do my best to make myself comfy. And when it's time, I go join them for dinner.
You try to make yourself comfortable, and it is a lot harder than it was to make yourself comfortable at the Bronze Villain. There's very, very modest what's it called? Lodging.
Accommodations.
Yeah, accommodations. As you join her, you kind of walk back into the main chapel, and you see some attendings coming in from outside and heading off to a wing on the right. I'm guessing you follow them suit.
Yes.
You follow him. You see there is a long wooden table in front of a fireplace that's going. On the table, you see a large pot of soup. At the head of the table, you see this dragonborn, this priestess, and then you see on one side you see a halfling woman with blonde hair, a human woman, a human man with
Halfling woman with blonde hair. Human woman?
human man.
Human man. So there's a Thyr, and then a halfling woman, and then a human man.
Yep. And then you see a very young, very small gnome. And at first, it's very easy to confuse a halfling child with a gnome child, but what distinguishes this gnome child is the fact that she has a small sprout coming from her head. This is my world.
Okay. Gnomes have sprouts.
Yep, she has a small sprout coming from her head. Light dirty brown, dirty brown hair tied up in a ponytail. And then you see an older half-orc sitting next to her, serving her a bowl of soup.
Okay.
And you see a Thyr perk up.
Sorry, is the sprout thing like all gnomes, or is this unique to this girl?
Forest gnome. No, forest gnomes, yeah.
Forest gnomes. Okay, all forest gnomes have a sprout. Okay.
Not a sprout necessarily, but they have some plant.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Like this, it's very clear that she is still young. Like, you've seen gnomes with,
Child.
Yeah, this is a child. She is a child. Like you've seen gnomes with I'm trying to figure out a proper description.
Whole ass shrubs
Um
on their heads.
Basically, yeah. You've seen some gnomes with shrubs on their heads. You've seen one of your old classmates was a gnome who had sprigs of lavender kind of growing out of her head that she used to braid. She used to braid into her hair. It's
Hot.
just kind of part of of their anatomy.
Yeah.
And the
Plant
Thyr
people.
sees you. Oh,
I was
you
just
good?
saying plant people.
Plant people, yes. A Thyr sees you, and she's like, "Oh, Mr. Virik, welcome. Sit down." And she gestures to the chair at the other head of the table.
He gives a very slight bow, mostly with his head, and then takes a seat.
Uh, the other, like the girl particularly, just like looking at you, who is this stranger? And the older
Sup,
man,
bitches?
the older man gives you a politeful nod, and the human and the halfling give you a small wave before just kind of going back to the meal and serving themselves some soup. The human man himself actually serves a bowl of soup, hands it over to you, and takes your own bowl for himself.
Got you. I give him a polite nod as he hands me his bowl. And I eat the soup quietly. I was going to introduce myself, but it seems like mealtime is quiet time for them, so I'm gonna kind of follow suit with that.
Right. And yeah, you're right. It's pretty much it's this quaint silence. They pretty much live together. They do the same routine. Like there's not much to discuss, but
Mhm.
they do just enjoy spending time together. Um, you do feel the gaze of the young gnome girl just looking at how she looks at you curiously. But all in all, it's just a nice, quaint dinner.
Very cool. Every now and then, as I feel her eyes like fucking pressing against me, I'll just give her a polite smile. Go back to
You see her
eating.
go a bit around the face before she looks back to her soup.
The oh shit, I've been caught staring.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Eventually dinner winds down to a close. I don't know if you want to do something, if you want to converse with any of these mans.
Um, I guess I would just kind of introduce myself, and if they wanted to talk to me or ask me questions, I would just kind of carry conversation. I don't think there's anything like there's nothing I'm particularly like interested in knowing. Like I Virik anyway feels pretty certain that he has all the information he needs about this place. It's a temple. It's dedicated to the land mother Terra, and they live their quaint lives here, and they are willing to help passerbys.
Yep. Um, yep, introductions are said. Uh, Light chatter. Um, I guess you gather names. You learned that the human man is named Leon. The half orc is named Garrick.
Garrick.
Garruk.
UK.
Garrick.
Garrick. Very orky.
Yep. The halfling woman is named Melody.
Let's go, Melody.
Melody, and the gnomish girl is named
Child.
Child. Um, um, you actually catch two names for her. You hear the halfling woman in your banter call her Belle, and then the at one point when the half orc man notices that she keeps staring at you, you just hear him quietly not sternly scold her, but like call her out and just say, Belladonna, quit staring.
Okay, Belladonna.
But yeah.
Putting in parentheses and in all caps, child.
Child. But yeah. Dinner comes and goes. I'm guessing you retreat back to your room.
Room is a strong word, but yes.
To your lodging for the night.
My sleep area.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
yeah.
I'll give them a 2 gold donation. I'll give it to Aether.
She graciously accepts it, giving you a deep, respectful bow. Thank you kindly.
It's the least I could do.
I will get your supplies ready for the morning. Please rest before you head off.
Thank you. He's gonna give a slight bow. Right. So what am I adding? I'm adding bedroll, tent, mess kit, and tinderbox, right?
You're good at yep. You get basically the following morning as you're leaving, Athea catches up with you and she does give you she folds out a blanket folded on top of it.
Blanket. Oh, sweet.
Yeah, a blanket on top of it, a bedroll, the mess kit, bedroll mess kit, and a water skin.
Water skin, yeah, that's important.
And as you take that, she also slings a tent off her shoulders.
Excellent. I stuff all of that into the bag of holding.
Please do be wary. While the land is kind and welcoming, nurturing, it can also be rough. So please do be wary in making sure you have everything you need for long travels.
I thank you. I will do my best. It's a little embarrassing. I'm used to being the intelligent one, and yet when it comes to matters like this, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Well, child, may the land mother guide you. And I guess that's like this world equivalent of like, you know how when you like some Christian Catholics do like the cross,
Mhm.
like bless you, like a rough equivalent of that. She kind of does like wipes her hand like in front of your face and then like down, like
Mhm.
yep. May the land mother guide you.
He's going to give a bow. And you as well, Athir. Farewell.
As you're leaving, you do hear the rest of them saying goodbye, and especially like Belladonna just saying
Bye bye.
as like they're all waving you off.
He'll wave back with a brighter smile than he expected on his face. Goodbye, everyone.
And yeah, okay, so
Man, what a bunch of assholes.
what a bunch of weirdos.
Fucking freaks.
But yeah, now you properly set off northwest to Silvervale. Now properly equipped.
Yes. I have
Um,
a way to actually set up a camp now.
exactly. Um, the first few days actually go off without a hitch. Faith was correct in assuming and saying that this area here between the hills is rather it's a lot longer than one would expect seeing it on a map.
Mhm. Are you good?
What is your mind?
You cut out the word map.
Um, you realize that Faith was right in saying that this area here between the valleys, between the
Mhm.
hills, I mean, is a lot longer than one would assume seeing it on the map. And
Mhm.
I'm guessing Virik isn't exactly used to walking this long of distance. So you kind of
No.
at one point you catch yourself thinking like fucking hell, when is this valley going to end?
Yeah, in fact, there's a point where I kind of stop and I like rest my hands on my legs. I'm like, I did not think that it would be this difficult. Oh, got to get used to this. He kind of just like adjusts his robe and like continues on.
Yep.
Fuck.
As you walk, I think do take in the sights of the hills, the valleys, the gust of the fresh spring air. At nights, you see that the skies are a lot clearer than they were even in Berdosa. Um,
Mm.
One of those days, you actually wake up to the sound of light showers sprinkling on your tent. Um, the smell of what's it called? Give me a
Pissed.
second. What dirt? What's it called?
Wet dirt? Mud?
And no,
Soil?
petrichor. The smell of one morning you wake up to the sound of showers falling upon your tent and the smell of
Oh,
petrichor.
okay. The
Yeah,
the smell of rain after the fact.
yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Um,
Like,
Adorning the rest of the day.
yeah.
Um, it's a bit chilly. I don't think you're not exactly used to the elements, so it does get a bit chilly at times. But it's nothing. It's nothing you can't handle. It's nothing. It's nothing
Yeah.
that'll put a a quick end to your journey or anything.
I think growing up, I'm going to assume Daxon is mostly like stone and brick, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Growing up in a city like that, I think um, he actually very much like is enjoying the discovery of like what it means to kind of be out here. He's not too fond of the sleeping arrangements, but but like just the clearer skies, the views he's been able to see, the sound of the rain on his tent waking him up softly, the smell of it afterwards. He's growing a fondness for being outside like this.
Yeah.
Minus the wetness and coldness. He's not super thrilled about that.
Valid. But yeah. Um, your trip actually goes by pretty uneventful. Occasionally you see on the rolling hills a shepherd with his sheep. Occasionally a caravan rides past you heading to what you assume to be Berdosa. You spot a traveler too. They greet you with a good day, but nothing relevant. Nothing extravagant, I guess you could say. On your 15th day on the road, as the sun has set, you decide to keep walking for a bit longer, and you eventually come up on on the side of the road. It's slightly wooded, and you see a fire burning, a bit into the trees, and you see two figures. Um, You're a tall motherfucker, but these figures seem a bit taller than you. They don't look sketchy. They don't look hostile or anything. They just kind of seem to be
I killed them.
they just kind of seem to be enjoying the fire that they've set up. I don't know if we want to do anything.
Are they like in the woods or like?
They're not like right next to the road. They're like a few feet in, like a few yards in.
Okay, so they're not
Yeah.
too far away.
Exactly.
Is it kind of getting late?
Yeah, it's around 7:30, I'd say.
Okay, then I guess I'd walk up. I'd probably wave at them and kind of shout out ahead of time, so I'm not just like walking up on them and scaring them or anything. I'd be like, "Hello there." sound like Obi-Wan Kenobi there. Hello there.
Hello there. As you walk up, these two figures, one of them like instantly perks up, like on the defensive, while the other takes a much more relaxed approach. The one who immediately perked up, even jumping to his feet, is a tall bugbear man, clad in chainmail armor. His fur being this reddish brown.
As he jumps to his feet and go, "Oh, I called out to avoid exactly this."
And you see, still in her seat, a very lean owlin woman, snowy white feathers and yellow eyes. She's adorned in navy blue robes, and she's less on guard than this bugbear man.
Okay.
Oh, hello.
Hang on, I'm making more notes.
More notes.
I will make this tab. People. Alright, so, bugbear.
I have images if you'd like.
With, yes please. Chainmail.
I know in the image it's plate, but imagine it's chain.
Yeah. Owl lady in navy blue, you said?
Yep.
Or dark blue? Navy blue, okay.
Navy blue.
Navy blue robes. It me. Oh, she's cute.
Yeah. These two are tall motherfuckers. In their own right.
How tall?
The
I'm
bugbear
6'3",
man.
how?
Yeah, the bugbear man stands at 6'8", and the owlin lady at 6'5". The owlin lady seems a bit taller because she's very lean. The other man is just like very built.
Okay. And what did she just say to me? She said something.
Just hello.
Hello. Sorry, I just noticed the fire from the road, and it's getting late. Is it all right if I join you? At least for the night. I won't crash your party too long.
Oh, of course. There's no issue. And as this owlin is very open to accepting you within the party, you just hear the bugbear just kind of growl and just says, "We can't just keep accepting people to stay with us." And the owlin lady just responds like, "Oh, just be quiet. Look at him."
It's difficult not to find that at least a little bit insulting, but I suppose you are correct. I'm no threat. Puts his hands up. My name is Virik Alazar, and he gives a bit of a bow. I come from Daxon. I'm on my way to Silvervale to see some family.
And you see the owlin lady look up to the bugbear. See? He's even traveling where we're going. And she stands up and gives you a bow. I'm Lavina. And I'm gonna spell out for you because it has a different spelling. I'm Lavina. And my
That's
companion
bullshit.
and my companion here is Virik. Pleasure to make your acquaintance, Virik. Virik and Virik. That's not gonna be confusing. I just realized it's fine.
No, not at all. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you both, and he says pointedly towards Virik as well.
He's glaring at you, not like so much like he doesn't like you, just more so like on guard.
Hold on.
Please ignore my companion. He can be a stickler and a stick in the mud. And she was sitting on a log. She kind of pats the log next to her for you to sit down.
I've met plenty in my time, so no worries. I'm sure if we're headed to the same place, we'll have plenty of time to get better acquainted. And he gives another bow towards Virik before sitting on the log.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. And she takes a seat next to you.
I'm guessing this is how I meet two of the other members of the party.
No, actually.
No.
I don't know if you guys banter, chat at all. It is getting late. You guys have both been you guys both, as in like this group and you, have been traveling for the whole day. So
Sure. Yeah, I'll converse with them and kind of basically just ask them about themselves and as much as they're willing to share, and I'll share a bit about myself and where I come from. I'll maybe leave out the fact that my father is the court mage to the queen.
Yeah.
I don't want to flaunt my status right now. If they know the name Alazar, then they'll probably be able to figure it out. But
yeah. As you're conversing, like Lavina is very much like she is giving you like the best smile an owlin can. Like very much as her picture shows. Close-eyed smile, very warm, very welcoming. Virik is keeping his distance, listening, but judgmentally. You learn that these two have been on the road for a few months now, together. And they're actually traveling from Rincona Ward. You hear that the reason you guys haven't met earlier is because they like crossed through they originally were gonna cross straight to Ashstead, but decided to cross through the valley instead. And instead of heading towards Bordosa, they went this way, I guess you could say.
Gotcha. They went off road.
Yep.
Rincona Ward.
Yep. You hear that they're meeting up with an acquaintance up in Silvervale to kind of touch base on a job that they don't really give much detail on. Lovina, she's the one doing most of the conversing. She's describing the sights she's seen. She's I guess she's like the warmest of the two. Like keeping conversation going.
Okay. Virik Angie.
Engi, indeed.
Lavina Warmb.
Warmb.
All right, sweet.
Yeah.
Obviously, Virik seems more like a fighter type. Does Lavina show any aptitude with magic?
Not that you can tell, no. Like aside from like the ropes, there's not much you can gather.
Okay. As I'm talking, I'll probably have part of the things that I'd be talking about is like me delving into studies of magic, and I'd probably have my spell book floating next to me while I'm talking about like spell work and stuff.
Lovina is kind of oohing and awing as you talk about your magic. It's a bit patronizing, but you can tell
It's
it doesn't come.
patronizing.
It's kind of, yeah. But you can tell it doesn't really like. It's not coming from a place of like, oh, look at you, you're so smart. But it's kind of like she views you as younger, I guess you could say.
Got you. Like,
Yeah.
oh, so cute.
Exactly.
Yeah, even though the sentient spellbook is a first for the world.
Yeah. The one who actually seems to take somewhat of an interest in what you're spewing, or at least seems to know more about what you're talking about, is actually Virik.
Interesting. Okay.
Yep. He kind of nods along as you talk about your spells, about your casting. He kind of seems to let his guard down as you guys talk magic.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like I would probably.
Oh. What are you
We're
doing
doing
here?
we're doing
We're doing
one-on-one
session 0.
D&D stuff. Yeah. Cool. He would probably notice this and start not ignoring Lavina, but directing his magic talk more towards Virik, kind of noticing that he understands a bit more. And he's not braggadocious about it. It's more like intrigue into the studies that he's been doing to get to this point. But he would basically be talking about how he pretty much invented his own like style of wizardry and like arcane manipulation. I.e. becoming the first of the Order of Scribes.
Yeah. He kind of gives a nod and he is intently listening. You can tell that there is a slight bit of is dissonance the word? Like a slight lack of comprehension, I guess you could say.
Okay, so he gets magic, but he doesn't really understand like all the ins and outs.
Like the depths, yeah.
Yeah.
Eventually, as the night goes on, Zirik's face throughout this conversation softens to the point that you can tell he's no longer on guard, like what the fuck are you gonna do?
Yeah.
And eventually, Yola ties up tents, set up watch, and Lavina actually takes first watch, perching up in a tree. Night comes and goes without issue, and Lavina would extend the offer for you three to travel together, safety in numbers and whatnot.
I gladly accept.
Right.
I say, provided Virik is all right with it.
Lavina will look up at Virik, and who just kind of crosses his arms, gives a huff, and nods.
Take that as a cautious yes.
Oh, trust me, he can be a softie when he wants to be.
Can't we all? All right, well, then I think that's settled.
You guys continue on. Probably idly chit-chatting as you walk. Idly chit-chatting. Occasionally, as you guys set up camp, Virik would kind of make an effort to forage whatever he could find around the surrounding area to kind of give a bit more zest to y'all's meals and rations. Zest. Eventually, you guys arrive at Ashstead, which I'm not gonna go too far into. Give me a second.
Oh, I didn't mean to exit.
Yep, you guys get to Ashstead. You guys restock. I don't know if you're gonna buy anything. If you want to buy more
Not if I don't have
rations.
to.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. The other two kind of stock up on rations mainly, and then you continue on. Your guys' journey actually is going off pretty well. Okay, except for the one day that you guys saw a storm in the distance, thought it'll probably disperse by the time we get there, and it didn't.
Pog.
Yep. But for the most part, your guys' travels go fairly well after leaving Ashstead. The only thing that would catch your eye is on the third day, as you guys are continuing to Berdosa, to Silvervale. You guys are around here-ish. Around here-ish. You see three men in like really ragged farmer's clothes, kind of escorting a little flock of sheep, like half a dozen or so. They give you like the passing pleasantries, like greetings, fine weather, whatnot. And they're basically walking down to Ashton as you guys are going towards Silvervale, so you just kind of cross paths momentarily. But you continue on with no real with nothing really of note. And that is until about 10-15 minutes later, you guys you see a frantic fellow run up to you, and it is this middle-aged halfling man who looks bruised and exasperated as he just runs up to the three of you and clings on to Lavina's cloak, and he just says, help me, they took my sheep. Do you know where they went?"
Well, that's fortunate and unfortunate. Yes, we've just passed them.
Lavina kind of puts a calming hand on this man's shoulder and looks up at Virik. Well, we can't let that slide, can we? And she looks down at you.
I pull my spell book out. Well, I don't think we can.
Lavina kind of points towards a nearby tree and basically tells the man to wait there, and you guys will deal with it. And you guys press backwards, southwards, towards when you guys saw the bandits.
Mm-hmm.
And do you do anything as you're approaching? Lavina and Virik tend to be taking a more not necessarily silent like sneaky, but more so just a zero talk, we mean business kind of approach.
I don't think I have anything that I could use for like preparation, so I think I'm just going to also kind of follow their lead. I would say the only thing that I would do is I'd be kind of moving myself a little bit off the road, giving myself kind of some distance so when we do see them, I'm not as close.
Okay. Eventually, you guys manage to catch up somewhat. Let me see. And as you guys are pressing forward, you see these bandits stop in their tracks, and they kind of turn around. And you kind of come at this. You see the map, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. You kind of come up at the standoff as Lavina just steps forward and says, "Now, we just want the sheep. We don't want no trouble. We don't want any trouble. So just be a dear and hand them over, will you? And Virik is ready with sword and shield drawn. Can you move the token, by the way?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Do I have line of sight here, or is it like there's brush in the way?
There's a tree. Like under this tree, like you do have sight, like the square in front of you, you do.
Okay. Okay.
You see, as you guys approach, this captain, this well, anyway, this bandit here in the middle, kind of bark orders at the ones next to him, and they just disperse outwards. And I'm gonna need you to roll initiative.
Okay. I guess.
I guess. Oh wait, I need initiative. Where's the initiative?
It's on the bar on the yeah there.
Yep.
Let's go.
Let's go. I'm hoping this fight won't be too bad because I'm using a cobalt cyclop.
I mean, 3 of us, just a couple of bandits. Well, the bandit captain might be a problem, but that's fine.
It's fine. It said that's gonna be hard, so I'm just hoping it's not too rough.
Yeah. There
you go. Okay. Let's see here. You see the bandit in the middle with the sheep behind him just pull out 2 daggers and basically take I guess you could say a battle stance as he awaits for the other 2 to approach. Lavina, you see her pull a quarterstaff from behind her from off the back.
That was my next guess. That was my next guess.
From off her back. And she will. Let's see. I need to figure out how to work character sheets here. She is going to.
You know how to double click them to make them the small little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's going to close the gap with this man's. And you just see her with the quarterstaff just bam on the shoulder. 4, please. What is that? The 16 to hit. Yep, and that does a bludgeoning to this bandit. You hear a. Has Virik ever seen combat?
Unlikely, highly unlikely.
Yeah, so you just hear a sickening crunch from this man as Lovina just brings down this quarterstaff on his shoulder.
Yep. Virik kind of winces a little bit, like, ooh.
Yep, and you see. Correct me if I'm wrong. Monks can take an unarmed attack, right, after weapon attack.
Yes. We're all starting at. Hang on. We're all starting at 3rd level. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. And you see her try to do a roundhouse kick that just whiffs as this bandit just ever so slightly manages to duck out of the way of her claws.
Mm. Her talons.
Where'd the initiative go? Her talons. Where'd the initiative go? There it is. Zirik's up next as he charges in. Longsword and shield drawn.
Ooh.
he can only get up here. So he will also ready. And actually, no.
You can have him dash.
I can't have him dash, but I can also have him do something else.
Is he going to cast magic?
Maybe. As you see him reach out a hand, and as you see him actually, like his shield has like a leather handle on it, so he kind of like folds his shield out, and from it you see, like from under it, I guess, you
Yeah, I imagine.
see, yeah, a small lightning bolt come out as he is casting lightning lure on
Let's
this
go.
bandit here. And I mean, yeah, I'll save from this Mayons. Which he fails, and he is dragged in 10 feet, and he takes 8 lightning damage.
All right.
Bandits' turns. They're not looking great, as you probably figured. Um, the one up with Lavina will try and just stab her. And that's a miss. That's that's a very bad miss. And the one with Virik also attempts to stab him. And that's also a miss. You see, the one who's trying to stab Lavina is just kind of thrown off, given this fucking quarter stab he took. And the one with Virik is just
Bounces off
terrified
his
of
shield.
this man's. Yeah, bounces off his shield. You're up.
Okay. I guess seeing that, hang on, I gotta check something real quick. Perfect. Right there. I'm gonna cast Shatter right there, right on that
Okay.
spot.
Yep.
I need both of those bandits to roll me. What is it? Actually, let me just click this thing. Con save.
Con save. That's a 17 for the bandit captain. And whatever this man rolls, I don't think it'll matter, but that's a 14. Means it beats it.
God damn it. Okay, hang on. Is it half damage?
I'm pretty sure it's half damage.
Half damage. Yep. Okay, so both of them take 7 points of thunder damage.
Yeah. You see the bandit up next to Zirik just kind of get reverberated and just drop as he is dead.
Hell yeah.
You've killed your first man, yay.
Yay! Woo! Murder!
Oh, what? Why did that go under? Okay, anyway. And let me do some math with a calculator because I can't do math. Okay.
Same.
Okay. The bandit captain. He did not like that, but he's also not smart enough. He's also smart enough to know that if he tries to attack you, that means going between these two, who do not seem to be the biggest pushovers. So seeing that, oh my god, seeing that this man just went down, the bandit captain just pounces on Zurich.
Okay.
And he is going to multi-attack. That is a miss. Oh no, does that hit? Let's see.
Chainmail. I
That
think
is a miss.
16. If he's got a shield, that should be into an 18. So yeah.
And then that hits. As he just manages to jab the dagger under, like right into Zirk's thigh for 4 damage.
What a bitch.
4 damage.
Big.
Lovina's good to finish this man's off with another bonk.
Bonk that
She hits, of
bitch.
course. That hits, and man's gone. Another sickening crack as blood just spews from this man's mouth as he collapses onto the floor. Ooh. And then she is gonna dash over here. Not dash, but run over here. She is now flanking is a thing in my game. She is now flanking with Zirik.
And that
And
sweet +2.
Sweet +2 and Flurry of Blows.
Let's go. No.
That's 1. And that's 2. They both miss. They actually do land, but Lovina underestimates how strongly she needs to hit this man. And that's her turn. Virik is up next. He will just try and stab this man with his longsword.
Motherfucker, stab that bitch. Come on, motherfucker, stab that bitch.
That's a 25.
I think that misses, actually.
For 11 slashing. Okay.
God damn.
God damn. I need to kill this man real quick. There you go, gone.
Dunzo. Finito.
Dunzo. There we go. Bandits are dead, and it's your turn.
Sweet. I'm going to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Just give myself a real clear shot on this asshole. I'm going to upcast Witch Bolt. Cast it at 2nd level.
All right.
Where is it? There it is. 13 doesn't hit.
Nope. That's unfortunate. Okay.
Okay.
I'm
in shock from the first deaths I've seen.
seeing 2 people get fucking murdered.
Yeah, and one of them was by my hand.
Seeing his attacks didn't work on Zirk, he's you see the captain turn around and try and stab Lavina with his multi-attack. Where's the sheet? I closed it out. Great. Okay. That is a 1 that hits. A 2. Fuck. Okay. Okay. Okay.
She's gonna make it,
How
right?
quickly combat turns.
Yeah.
You see this man attack, very briefly you see Zirik manage to catch you see Zirik with his long ass bugbear arms manage to stick his shield in front of one of the slashes, not completely cutting it off, but at least taking some of the damage for it as he uses interception, which is what I sent earlier by accident.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. This man does 6. Okay. And then Zira can reduce that by, I believe it's 1d10 plus proficiency. Yeah. Zirik manages to pretty much block the first. Oh, he does. He just
completely
manages
block the
to
first one.
block
Yeah.
that first. Yep. Lavina still takes 13 points of damage. As her white feathers are now stained red. Give me a second. Math.
Is she dead?
No, she's still fine. Okay. Lavina tries to attack once more with her quarterstaff. That's a 13. That does not hit. Oh.
She swung.
She swung. She missed. To try to use another key point for flurry of blows.
Pog.
I believe. Yeah.
Yay.
Okay. So that's that second one hits. And and as she manages to land that hit, she kind of sidesteps and with that hit just tries to shove him away. Let's see. Let me roll that damage quick. That is 6 damage. Nope, that's not it. Fuck. And he gets pushed away. I believe. How many feet? 15 feet.
97.
This way. Okay, I'm actually gonna say that's a lot more than I expected. Fuck. There we go. And it's Zirik's turn.
Okay.
He just takes a step this way. And because again, bugbear, long arms, he just strikes from where he is.
Right, they have reach naturally.
Yep. That's a 23 to hit, dealing 10 damage. And it is your turn.
Sweet. I'm going to I'm gonna come over here. 5, 10, 15. And I'm going to cast Thunderwave.
All right. DC 14.
Yep.
What's that, Dex? Constitution.
Con.
That's unfortunate.
Fuck,
Okay, that's
dude.
that is half
hang on.
damage. Okay.
Does it do half damage? Let me make sure. Half damage, yeah.
Yep. So he'll take 7 damage from that.
Okay, you're rounding up with it.
I'll round up for enemies, round down for y'all.
Sure.
And it is the captain. And finding himself in between Lavina, Zirik, and you, he takes a step back and pulls out his crossbow.
Okay.
And he tries to shoot at you. What is he? He doesn't have a crossbow. Dagger, then.
You gonna throw a dagger at me?
Yep. That's a 21.
It's 21.
7.
Hang on. Hang on a minute. What's my AC? Obviously 21 hits, but I wanna...
Yeah.
Okay, so casting shield would not help me. 7 points of piercing damage. Okay. Ow.
Oh, okay, that's unfortunate.
Can he make 2 dagger attacks?
It does so here, unless I have the wrong sheet.
I think it's...
Multi-attack. Free range attack with daggers.
Isn't it 2 scimitar, 1 dagger?
Captain makes 3 melee attacks with 2 scimitars and 1 dagger, or the captain makes 2 range attacks with its daggers.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah. Nat 20 hits.
Because for the fact that it's a session 0, I'm not going to count as a nat 20, I just will count as a hit.
Okay.
What's a dagger? It's 1d4 plus 3. Okay. That's a 4. That's 4 damage. 11 damage
Okay. Ow.
total. Yeah.
11 damage. That still puts me at 9.
Squishy wizard.
Yeah.
Lavina pounces at this man's. Pounce. Okay, let's see. Quarterstaff. That's a 9. And another 4 blows. 23 and 8. One of those hits. 4, 5. 19. Back to Virik, who's gonna stand here, kind of shielding you from this man's.
Preesh.
Thank you for not letting me die.
Yeah.
That's a 14, that misses. You're up again.
Okay. I'm going to go 5, 10. And I'm going to cast I guess I'll cast another Witch Bolt, but at first level because I'm out of second level spell slots.
Sag. Alright.
Fucking really?
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Cool.
Cool. Okay.
Sweet. Awesome.
He is going to attack Lavina. I closed out the fucking sheet again. Okay. Scimitar. 13, Scimitar. The second hits, he's out. He doesn't have any more daggers. He tossed them at you.
Good, bitch.
That's a 5 to Lavina, who is not looking great.
Oh.
You good? I heard that.
Yeah, that was my spine.
Crack with the quarterstaff, that's 4, and she's gonna use her last key point to flurry of blows this bastard. 1, 2. Dealing a total of 8 damage.
8 damage.
This man is looking very rough.
Oh, I also forgot. Can I move back? I did 5'10" specifically so that I could do move back.
Sure, go for it. Go for it. Point. And then he'll attack from here then, in that case. Longsword. 21. 5. And you're up.
Okay. Move back here again.
Just using this man as a meat shield.
Basically, yeah. Yeah. Let's try it again. Come on, baby. Hey!
Hey!
Eat it, bitch.
You see this lightning bolt chaotically just kind of shoot towards the bandit. It even momentarily catches on Zirik's chainmail armor, not to the point of damaging him, just kind of
like the lightning.
Lightning attracted to metal.
Out a little bit. Yeah.
Yep. as this man tenses up with the electric shock before just dropping in a smoldering pile, and he is dead.
Hell yeah.
Yay!
Yeah. Kind of dropped to one knee. A little help.
Oh, well, that wasn't ideal. And Lavina will go up to you, and she'll hand you a healing potion.
Oh, thank you. I'm gonna
And
pull
Zirik
the
will hand one
daggers
to
out.
Lavina.
Okay. That does not feel good.
No, it does not. If you
Is
said
it
you're good,
regular?
yeah, regular healing. If you said you were gonna pursue adventuring, though, it's something you're gonna have to get used to. And she just pats her shoulder and takes the healing potion that Zira gave her.
Okay. The wounds mostly heal.
Yay!
Yay. And I go, yeah. No, of course. Definitely something to get used to. And I guess also the weight of killing. That's fun.
She just kind of pulls into like an awkward side hug, kind of wraps her wing around you.
Just gonna slowly kind of stand up, put an arm around her. That gets easier, right?
I'd say it will. It won't. It'll become less impactful, though the weight will remain. And that's good. Because if it didn't, she just kind of like is grasping to find the words.
I'd be a monster.
That's a way to put it.
Right. Thank you for not letting me die.
Zirik just gives a nod. Now let's get these sheep, shall we? And though the sheep are here, they've kind of like dispersed.
Okay. Gonna start hobbling my way around them to try and get behind them and start ushering them.
Roll me an animal handling.
Sure. Animal handling.
Animal handling.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'll say with you and Zira kind of managed to corral these into a group and just kind of like herd them back to where you guys found the farmer.
Sweet.
As you guys were herding the sheep, and kind of like moving them more up here, you notice that Lavina stayed back for a moment.
Looting the bodies.
Yep, basically.
Atta girl.
Eventually, you guys return. Like it takes half an hour with the sheep, plus the combat, to get back to the farmer, who's just resting, seeming to have fallen asleep under the tree that Lavina left him. You guys wake him up. He's looking rough, but more so like not dying, just beaten.
Yeah. I give him a little rough-looking smile through the pain that I'm still experiencing.
Oh,
We got your sheep back.
oh, thank you. And he just takes your hand in both hands and shakes it. Does the same with Zirik and with Lavina. Thank you. This is my main source of income, and I can't thank you enough.
Of course, I nod as I cast prestidigitation to get the blood off of my robes.
Fair enough. And he kind of he pulls out his little coin pouch. He says, it's not much, but and he pulls out. How much did he pull out? Nope, I'm gonna give you guys a bit more than that. He pulls out 12 gold pieces. He meant a farmer. He gives you 4 each.
Very cool. All right. So that puts me at 102.
It's not much, but
Hell yeah.
It's
it's not much.
greatly appreciated.
Thank you. And he hugs one of the sheep. You notice that one of the sheep is actually surprisingly larger than the others. And this man just kind of jumps on his back, and the rest of the sheep just kind of follow suit.
Huh. Not what I expected to see.
And they trot onward to Ashted.
Virik's gonna kind of look down at his robes with 2 holes in them. I'm gonna go. Suppose I'll need a tailor when we get back into the city, town.
Town.
When we get into the town.
I believe that goes for all of us. Let's get going, shall we? We can probably make some progress from here for the rest of the day.
Sure. Find anything interesting on them?
You don't waste time, do you? She, Lovina gives you a smile. From her backpack, she'll pull out. Let's see, what do these guys have on them? She pulls out 2 light crossbows, 3 scimitars, and obviously the daggers that you were stabbed with.
Yeah. He's gonna take the daggers.
2 light crossbows, did I say? Yeah, right.
I'll take one because I can sell it.
Yeah.
I don't want to take everything from them though.
Yeah. Give me a second. For a moment, Lavina and Virik kind of you hear them talk loot, like not they're not really including you in the discussion, but they will give you the 2 daggers and the 2 light crossbows, and they'll keep the 3 scimitars.
Okay.
Yep. Aside from that, I did find some coin, albeit not a lot, and she hands you 1 platinum, 3
1
gold.
platinum?
Yep.
Sweet.
3 gold and 4 copper.
I appreciate you sharing.
Of course. We all pulled our weight, and I'm guessing you haven't seen combat, so good job. And she pats your head.
Yes, it is my first combat. First kill. First time being stabbed by 2 daggers. A lot of firsts today.
A tip, those crossbows do sell rather well. And it's always good to create allies wherever you go, if you can. She gives you a wink.
Man, I really didn't decide ahead of time.
All right.
Hang on. Since I rolled a 7, I'll say it's odds. Okay. Cool. He's gonna just kind of give a nod and say, right, well, that is part of the plan. And hopefully I've made a couple here.
She gives you a smile. Virik, he doesn't look away. And he's, like a bit of his stoicism has just dropped. He just gives a nod.
Good, because I'd like to introduce you to my hero of an uncle.
hero, huh?
Supposedly.
Well, I can't wait to meet him.
Me too.
And with that, you guys continue on. The rest of your trip is rather uneventful. Um, wounds heal. Wounds heal. Days pass. Light spring showers come and go, and
I like
eventually,
healing.
Hmm?
Said I like healing.
I mean, obviously, uh, and after a few days and long rests, yes. Can I drag you back? How do I drag you back?
You go up to
There
the
you go.
maps. And, yeah. Yep.
And after a few days, you arrive in Silvervale. Let's see.
See ya, losers. I'm just kidding.
See ya. You arrive in Silvervale. There's actually a pretty large settlement. It's larger than both Bertosa and Ashta, just not to the just not even close to the level of Daxon though.
Yeah, not quite a city, but definitely a large settlement.
Yeah, exactly. As you reach here, um, like the week leading up to your arrival, you've noticed that the weather has gotten rather cold. Um, being closer up north to the Little Region Mountains will do that. And as you arrive, you see the first thing you come across is the stables, carts coming and going. You get the impression that this is just like a trade port, a trade town. Yes, a trade post.
Mm.
Um, what do you do when you arrive? You head straight to find your uncle. It's like midday. We'll say.
I'm gonna stick with these two and like try to find some lodgings for the three of us.
All right. Uh,
No
I haven't
guarantee
probably
my
made.
uncle will be like, "Hey, come in and
Come and
stay."
stay with me. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh, I won't give you much yet because I haven't made Silverville yet.
that's okay.
Yeah.
We
But
find all in.
yeah, you find an inn. Um, also you find like the middle ground inn. Um, you basically you rent out your rooms. I'll say it'll run you. I'll say I'll run you 1 gold a night.
One gold a
No,
night.
1 gold.
Okay.
Yep.
Um, I will slap down 5 gold then.
5 nights. All right. The other two they put down their gold. You guys head up to your rooms. You see that Lavina and Virik drop off their stuff before joining you back in the tavern section of the inn. And you've all settled down. What do you do?
Um, I'm gonna ask them if they have any business to attend to here, because if not, then I'll take them with me to go meet my uncle. But if they do, then I'll let them take care of their stuff while I go speak to my uncle.
They say they do have some business, but it's not pressing.
Okay. Then if they are willing, I will take them with me to go locate my uncle.
All right. In the letter that your uncle had sent you, let's say what 2 months ago now? Yeah, 2 months ago. Um, he had mentioned how to find his house. It was real rough directions. It takes you a bit to actually locate it, cause
Okay.
he
Every now
wasn't
and then I kind
yeah
of ask the nearest stranger, "Hey,
yeah
fuck does this mean?"
yeah. Um, eventually you come across a small a small but quaint house. Um, it's very modest, very humble. It's not necessarily one of like the poor houses, but definitely not one of the higher ups. Um, it's just quaint,
Got himself a modest home.
exactly.
Okay. I walk up and I knock on the door.
It takes you a minute. You don't really get a response right away. But after like a good 5 minutes maybe of waiting, Lavina and Zira kind of sharing looks as they kind of wait. The door is opened and you see your uncle, this high elfin man. Um, kind of rough around the edges, not like he's not disheveled.
Mhm.
He doesn't look in poor health, just kind of a bit messy, you know?
Sure.
Yeah. Ah, Virik.
You must be my Uncle Reyes.
Indeed, I am. He kind of opens. He holds his arms open and just without much prompting, just gives you a hug.
Yeah, Virik hesitates for a moment, but like returns the hug. I've heard much about you. Good from father, not so good from mother.
Your mother has never been a fan of the more extraordinary tales I've told her lost, and he kind of shrugs. Your father, though, he's told me much about you and your brother.
All good, I hope.
Of course.
These are. I don't mean to. What's the word I'm looking for? Don't mean to be presumptuous, but friends. And he looks back at Virik and
Lavina.
Lavina. Yep, thank you.
Lavina gives a nice a small smile and nods, and Xeric grunts in agreement.
Zirik, right? Zirik. I'm Virik.
Yep. I couldn't tell if you actually said Virik. I couldn't tell if you said Xeric. I just heard Virik or.
No, I definitely said Virik.
Oh, okay.
Zirik and Lavina. Okay. I met them on the road, and we fought off some bandits together.
Oh, I see you're building quite a name for yourself already. Okay, tussles your hair.
Yes, well, I don't know if we've got a name for ourselves, but definitely an interesting start to my adventuring days. Can we come in?
Oh, of course, of course. And he kind of steps aside, gesturing for you to come in.
I walk in.
Lavina and Xeric follow suit, giving your uncle a polite bow as they enter. Um, the house is rather cluttered, not messy, but it definitely has like a lot of trinkets inside.
Mhm.
You're guessing it's memorabilia from his days as an adventurer.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Are any of them legendary artifacts?
Um, you see a few things that kind of catch your eye just mainly because you haven't seen stuff like it before. Like you've seen stuff in magic shops, but they're kind of more some miscellaneous trinkets, if you could say. Like you see seemingly a glass. Oh, who died?
Laura.
Oh, Lara. Okay. You see a crystal orb just kind of floating, um, changing in color as it just seemingly just floats idly, not really going anywhere. Um, on one shelf, you see a jade bird, just like a little statuette. You see all like these miscellaneous trinkets everywhere, basically, and in one corner, you do see a fairly ornate longsword.
Oh man, it's a good thing I'm not a thief. Or you'd be in trouble. But no, I walk inside and I kind of sit down, um, and I think it's pretty clear. I'm assuming it's like a living room area that we kind of walk into.
Yeah.
sit down on his couch, his sofa. And it's kind of clear that that Virik doesn't really know
No, yeah.
what to say.
He has like this one like this deal of like a big couch and a small chair deal
Mhm.
going on. The three of you, you and Lavina are rather lean individuals. Zirik not so much. You got the three of you just kind of end up cramped on this one big couch as your uncle takes the chair.
Okay.
And despite the circumstances where it was a meeting, your uncle actually seems like really happy you're there.
Hell yeah.
Like, yeah, like excited that you're there, excited to, I guess, finally meet his nephew, one of his nephews.
Mhm.
He kind of sits at the edge of his seat. So, tell me, Virik, I've heard you want to get into the adventuring business.
That was the hope, yes. I'm not entirely sure what to expect or really where to start.
Well, that could be a bit daunting. I didn't know I didn't know where to start either. Just kind of stumbled into it, one could say. Your best start, most would say. And he kind of, uh, he fidgets a bit as he's talking. Like there's a lot of ideas running through his mind. Um, your best bet would be, I mean, at least most people would say, would be the Adventurers Guild. However, those could be a bit suffocating. Uh, so I'd recommend starting with a recommendation, a word of mouth, if you would. And he kind of gestures to himself. Um, Someone who can get you jobs, knowing your abilities, knowing what you are capable of taking on.
You would provide jobs for me.
I'd provide you a few, yes. Something, obviously being what was the title? The Giant Slayer? What was it?
Titanbreaker.
Timebreaker. Obviously being the Timebreaker. And you see, Luwina and, Azir kind of share a look with each other. I have my fair share of, acquaintances who come to me for a few jobs here and there. Obviously, I can't take on all of them, and some of them are more pressing than others. And truth be told, I've become rather enamored with my more relaxed life in the most recent years. So I would pass on some of the jobs that I believe you could handle, um, to hopefully help you get up from the door.
Well, thank you, Uncle. I would appreciate that very much.
And of course, I won't forget about your friends here. And he gives a small smile to Lavina and Zurich. I could also get you a good word with with a friend of mine. Hopefully, if you don't already have some business to take care of, uh, as a thank you for accompanying my uh my precious nephew here. And do you see Lavina hold a hand up and shake her head? And she says,
Um, maybe in the future, but we already have a job sorted. We just wanted to see who Virik here had been talking about.
she puts a hand on your shoulder.
He kind of smirks at that. Yes, it appears they've got some friends, acquaintances to meet up with. Some kind of work they still haven't told me the depths of.
Lavina puts a towel into her beak and gives you a cheeky smile, like that's a secret.
Man, I like her a lot, but she's shady as fuck.
And your uncle just says, "Oh well, of course. To each their own. But do know that um, my door is always open for friends and family." And he kind of gives a polite bow to Lavina and Zirik. But yes, so you told me about these bandits. Have you done any other adventuring work, hunting, gathering, transportation, escorting? And like he seems like very expectant for you to say yes to something. It's clear that he's a bit out of touch with what you guys have been up to.
Yeah. No, actually. I haven't done any adventuring. The bandits were by happenstance. We found a farmer on the road who had his livestock taken, and we had just recently passed who we thought were farmers carrying livestock. So went back, dealt with the bandits, and here we are. But aside from that, the only thing I've really got experience with is lots and lots of study.
Just like your father. We can work with that. He kind of thinks. He takes a moment to think. Kind of looking at the trinkets. Like he looks at the ceiling. As you follow his gaze, like you see that there's a lot more like just kind of hanging from there. You see like a bunch of dried herbs, like some wind chimes here and there, just like seemingly a bunch of things he's gathered. Um, you see his eyes land on one in particular, almost like a sapphire kind of shape of not what's it called? Hmm,
Fuck if I know.
Prisms, yes. I need to look up prisms 'cause I can't remember what it's called. Prisms.
Is it a rhombus?
No. What's it called? It's like two
You-
pyramids stuck together.
Yeah, no, that like kind of
Yeah,
diamond
yeah,
shape.
yeah. Um, with a slight sheen in it. Um, and he just looks at it and he says, "I think I know someone who might be looking for a an extra set of hands, if you will. Uh, she owes me a few favors." He says this like looking up at this crystal.
Are
Does that sound
they?
okay?
Yes, that sounds fine. Are they in the crystal? He's looking up at it.
What? Don't be ridiculous.
Well,
No,
hell if I know.
she's in she she's a friend of mine. Lives a bit. She lives a bit towards in the forest. She practices botany, but she does have her way of getting into trouble or finding trouble, per se.
Well, I suppose trouble is exactly what I'm looking for then.
That's the spirit. Well, then we will waste no time. Obviously, I don't doubt that you and your friends are exhausted from the trip. Did you just get here?
We did. I paid for lodgings at the inn. Should I refund?
Uh, you see like this awkward expression kind of cross his face. I don't think I have much space outside of my own room.
Then it's a good thing I paid ahead of time.
Indeed. And Miss Lavina, and you see him stand up, and he goes like it's like the big couch where you Lavina and Zirik are um in L shape, like the little chair where your uncle is. In the
Mhm.
middle there's a coffee table, and then on the opposite end of the coffee table is like a fireplace. You see your uncle like start rummaging through a bookshelf next to the fireplace. Um he kind of just starts rummaging through a bunch of books. You kind of notice that a lot of the books that he has, it's kind of just a random assortment. There's some large history books. There's large history books. There's some seemingly recipe books, some journals. There's a whole bunch of things on his shelves. Um, he eventually pulls out an old journal. He starts kind of like pacing from between his shelves, and eventually manages to find an old quill and ink bottle. And he turns to Lavina and Xerox, and he says, not to be rude, however, I would like to spend some time with my nephew, if you will." But he writes something out in a piece of paper and hands it to them. Take this as a thank you from me, and more so of a thank you for making sure my nephew here got to Silverbear safe. Um, Zurich takes the paper, and you see both of them kind of look it over, and kind of questionably look back up at Rias. Um, they look at each other and then just kind of like give a shrug, and before Zurich folds the paper and tucks it under his chainmail, and Lavina just says, "Well, I know when we are being asked to leave," and she kind of gives a small chuckle before standing up and looking down at you. "It was a pleasure traveling with you, Virik."
It's a pleasure traveling with you. I hope to see you both soon.
We'll probably run into each other. We are staying in the same tavern. And she gives a polite bow to Rios, to you. Zirk follows suit, and he pats your shoulder as he follows Avina out of the house.
Hell yeah.
Yep. As they leave, not Zirk, Rios? That's his
Reyes.
name, right? Reyes. Reyes takes a seat back at his chair. Still sitting on edge. Very clearly excited to have you here. May I be honest? I didn't think there'd be another in our family who'd want to adventure. I had assumed that you'd follow in your parents' footsteps, take up some noble position within the court.
Well, I have my own ambitions, and unfortunately, study can only get you so far. I need to get out there. I need to learn. I need to understand the world. What's known, what's unknown, all of it, and I can't very well do that from within the walls of a single city.
Uh, as you say all this, you see that he does get like a very proud smile on his face. Well, I'm glad you are taking the time to explore Kyrin, explore the world, see what it has to offer, and boy, does it have a lot to offer. Oh, from the Fey crossings to the dungeons, the monsters. Oh, what is there not to see?
Well, I'm hoping to learn about all of it, as much as I possibly can.
Well, how about I said it was midday, right? How about you and I grab a bite, and then tomorrow I shall take you to see my friend. How's that
Huh,
sound?
that sounds good to me. And when we get back from our lunch, I'd like to show you what I do know and what I'm capable of. I assume that would help me figure out what my next steps are.
Of course. Let's go then. And like in that instant, he gets up, gets a cloak that's just haphazardly tossed onto an unlit brazier that does not match with anything in his house. Let's go then. Time waits for no man.
Oh, right. And while we're out and about, could we? And he kind of like wiggles his fingers in the holes where the dagger stabbed him.
Oh, yes, of course.
Thank you. And Virik will follow him out.
Hell yeah. Um, we'll say that you stop by a tailor first. They very quickly manage to repair the holes in your robes. Um, during which you like Reyes and the tailor have a nice conversation. Like Reyes himself seems like rather chatty with like the people like as you're walking, he'll stop someone and be like, "Oh, hey, I haven't seen you in a while." He stops to chat for a bit.
Mm.
Like he seems to be on good terms with most people. Obviously not everyone, but like the people
Yeah.
who have settled in Silvervale, like the common faces.
Yeah.
Eventually you guys return to the tavern, the yet to be named tavern. Um,
The inn.
exactly. Um, you guys have some lunch, and as you guys prepare to head out, no, yeah, okay. You guys have lunch. Um, um, fuck, how do you pronounce his name? I keep wanting to say Rias, but it's not Rias. Reyes. Reyes.
Yeah. Yep. He's a
Reyes.
ray of sunshine.
Yep. Reyes kind of regales you with his tales of adventure. And you kind of see what your mother was talking about. Like he says them in such a way that you're not sure if he's exaggerating or not.
Mhm.
Like it's kind of hard to tell if he's being serious or not. Yeah, and more so if there's truth to what he says.
I would like to roll an insight check.
All right, go for it.
Yeah, I got no clue.
To be fair, you don't know this man's.
True.
Um, but what you do gather is that Mans is just ecstatic. One, to have like family here, and two, to have family who's interested in what he's done for the past couple of decades. And eventually, as you guys are walking back to his little house, his little home, you guys stop by a small office-esque building, a bureau of sorts. And you guys don't actually go in, but instead you stop at a large billboard outside. This is what, as you guys stand in front of it, he explains that, actually I'll say in character, this, Virik, is one of the bases of operation for the Adventurers Guild. Uh, obviously, a lot of people with issues come here to post, help wanted and whatnot. Well, it is a good source of jobs. I personally recommend word of mouth. Because I've had instances in which someone will say, "Oh, need help with with giant lizards or something, and it turns out to be a wormling. So let's it's best to take jobs from people you can tell from people you know and you trust. And you see his eyes kind of scanning the board, and his eyes land on one, and he points it out to you. He says, "This one. As I've said, my friend tends to get herself in a fair bit of trouble, and it seems like this is no different. I will let you know what the poster says when it comes to it. But basically, he makes a point of showing how um, there are all sorts of jobs on this board, from monster hunting to gathering resources to completing shipments and escorting people. Like there's like jobs from all different
Yeah,
types.
all kinds of
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I believe this is the one will help her with tomorrow. But yes, let's go home, shall we? And you can show me what you can do.
Excellent.
Um, and you guys make your way back to his home. He takes a seat on his chair and he kind of waits patiently, although excitedly, for you to show him what you can do.
Okay. I pull out my spellbook and quill, both of which can kind of float and are magical. The spellbook is the most important part, but
Yeah.
I talk about the quill as well. And I explain it to him in layman's terms because I know that he's probably not going to know the ins and outs of arcane bullshit. um, and I explained to him basically how I've kind of invented my own form of spellcraft, and tell him the spells that I currently have in my repertoire, and that I'm also very knowledgeable on most topics.
Fascinating. A bookworm, much like your father.
Mother as well, if you remember.
Right, of course, of course. Seems you've taken your own path. However, and I'm proud of you for it. So magic is your forte.
Yes, I'd like to think so.
All right. Well, ideally, um, hmm, ideally, uh, for any adventure you go on, safety in numbers, I'd recommend someone to. Obviously, I believe you are more than capable of taking care of yourself. However, I believe, as you might have seen with your friends, it's easier when you have company, more so when that company complements your abilities.
Yes, I would love someone to be able to heal wounds. That was very painful.
Yes. Well, given that the botanist set up set the poster and the quest date for tomorrow, I guess we shall see who else turns up. Hopefully, um, there'll be someone who complements your skills, and most definitely, hopefully, there's a healer. Oh, those can be both metaphorically and literally a lifesaver. So he kind of like rubs a hand over his chest. Um, but it's all a matter of who arrives and their skill on the field. He kind
I'll
of
make-
gives us a.
Good.
Mhm. He kind of gives us a. You see his face, like his expression falter for a second. Kind of into almost a solemn look. Uh, I'm not the only one who has the mentality of word of mouth when it comes to jobs. However, that also leaves a lot of jobs on the job board unfulfilled. Um, it's something the guild has tried to sort out. However, it's easier said than done.
Perhaps they should crack down on the legitimacy of what's posted. More detail, proper info, penalties to those who create posts that are inaccurate.
Perhaps I shall bring that up with the bureau's head. But yes, I do hope it's not uncommon for posts to be either unfulfilled or for a group requiring 5, 6, 7 people to be met by one. However, that's not to be dissuaded, and he kind of goes back to his chipper attitude. Let's hope Fortuna favors us, and we get at least a decent turnout tomorrow. And hopefully, you might be able to make some new friends, some new acquaintances, maybe people you might travel with.
I hope so. I've already met 2, but they seem to have their hands full with something else, so we shall see.
Yes, allies are to have, whether they're near or far. Then again, one tends to prioritize those who are closer. Speaking in terms of relationship, though those two seemed rather competent and trustworthy, so not a poor grab this early on in your adventure.
Well, suppose we'll leave it to the fates whether they decide to join me for another.
Indeed. For now, then, is there anything you had on your mind? Anything you wanted to ask? You want to do? Or would you rather just take a rest, given your recent travels?
I do have one question. And you, the DM, will probably have to answer it a little later.
Okay.
How difficult is it to get your hands on materials for enchanting?
Well, that all depends on the enchantment. How does it? Arcanite is rather not easy to come by, but not hard either. Um, though I believe the cost would be the most difficult part to complete.
Well, I'll be needing plenty of it.
Here in Silvervale, you might not have issue finding some. However, in towns like here from the south, Ashstead and Berdosa might be a bit harder.
Then I suppose I'll keep my eye out here. See, I have a few ideas, and one of them will hopefully make it a little less likely that I get stabbed by more daggers.
Well, here's hoping. I wouldn't want you meeting your end so early into your journey. And he gives a hearty laugh before standing up and tussling your hair.
Well, you and I are on the same page with that one. I think for now, though, we just relax a bit. Can have a look
Yes.
around town tomorrow.
I did want to give you something, just as a welcome gift and a I suppose something to commemorate you starting this new facet of life. And You see him go up to the fireplace and move a picture frame of himself and just wait, himself and your father, like when they were much younger.
Okay.
Just himself.
Yeah, just him.
And from behind it, he pulls out a small box and he holds it out to you. It's not much, probably it's not much, but it's something I found on my own travels, and you might find slightly interesting. And he gives you the box.
Thank you. Whatever it is, I appreciate it. Shall I open it now, or should I wait?
Whatever you feel.
Okay. More open it.
As you open it, inside you see in a bit of twine, you see a small silver necklace with a almost moonstone-esque rock on it. Might not seem like much. However, it did save me on a very monumentous occasion. And he just gives you a wink.
I'm going to use my awakened ritual to cast Identify, even though I don't have it prepared.
Okay. As you identify it, you actually feel a sense of like a chill run down your spine, and you kind of see it momentarily glow, and you come to the understanding that this rock, whatever property it may have, will glow whenever there are giants and trolls nearby. Um, it is like the stone itself is it's what's magical. It is fjord ice.
Okay, hang on. Fjord ice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and fjord ice as a thingy is item source type fjord.
Fjord.
Glows when trolls or giants. Does it mean like actual giants, like things that are like hill giant, storm giant, or just like
Yeah.
giant the creature type? Because that would
No
include
giants.
trolls. Okay. When trolls or giants, or is there like a radius to that, or is it just like?
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Or okay. Quote nearby.
Nearby.
All right. Sweet.
Yeah. I'm guessing you guys just kind of wind down the evening, just kind of catching up, maybe filling in your uncle on what's happened with the fam.
Yeah. Would I need to attune to this necklace, or does it just do the thing?
It just does its thing.
Just does the thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, adding a thing for my attunement slots. Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do the conversing and the talking and the hanging of outs.
Exactly.
Oh, can we say I sold my light crossbows?
Oh, sure. That'll be 25 each.
25 each. Okay, so extra 50.
50.
50. Sweet.
Sweet. So I'm gonna say we'll close out there unless there's something else you want to do.
No.